What's up, everyone? Long time no see. Racing season is finally over, and I got some parts for this Miata. And we're gonna start with the first thing. Totally ignore how dirty it is, but we have a 9 Lives Racing air dam. In this video, I'm gonna be installing it. So far, all I've done is measure the center line of the front bumper, measure the center line of this air dam, and get one measly bolt put into it. I am gonna do rivets, but I wanted to at least do a self-tapper, get it up there, get it fitted, because I'm gonna do a little bit more than what you need to do. And I'm gonna cut out all the back part of the bumper that's no longer gonna be necessary. This should give us some weight reduction, should give us way more room for radiator shrouds and all that good stuff. We have to have good radiator shrouds, and this will allow us a ton more room. But I gotta get this mounted so I can cut the bumper, so I can create a bumper support and all that good stuff. I do have a front splitter designed up, drawn up. I need to print it out on a plotter, and then I got the wood right over there, and we'll get it on the new splitter train. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'll set the camera up, and we'll just start having a good time. All right, so that little time lapse, I got about half the screws in right now. Fits pretty good, or I'm pretty happy with how this fits. I just followed this body line all the way around, and it seemed to work out pretty good for me. So now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is go ahead and put the remaining screws in there, fit it up nice, do my final cut. Bumper is off. So a couple of the projects I'm gonna have to do, right? First off, there's a lot of this bumper that's getting cut out. Basically, I'm just gonna cut out and follow this line here, right underneath this bolt. I'm gonna follow that all the way around underneath all these screws, cut all of this out. I got this piece of bar here, it's already bent. It needs to be shortened up quite a bit. Create a template here, cut out some plates to basically box off this and then be able to weld that tube on. So I have some steel that I can do that with, and kind of insert these tube ends into this frame rail hole and then weld on both sides. That should be a pretty good. I want to cut out all these little pockets here. These are gussets. I'm going to go ahead and do a crash bar from here to here and have that, or have this bar here. It'll sit kind of in there like this, be able to provide support and kind of rest up against that crash bar. So by going to this tubular crash bar, what that allows me to do is basically cut from here to here, and then we have a very straight shot into our radiator. It's wide enough, it's wider than our intercooler and all that. The only thing I have to worry about are these. All right, so got the air dam back on. I think I showed you guys this work here. I got my bumper support going and made up, mounted. I also removed some of these little tabs right here on the side, which didn't make as much of a weight difference as I thought. The projects are building up on the car. I removed all this extra metal in here. There was a big piece that kind of went along here. That is all here. I mean, this stuff is pretty thick overall, pretty heavy for a bumper support. So got rid of a lot of that. Seems this is basically the upper framing for the bumper. It holds its shape. I kept a lot of that up there. So the bumper still holds its shape up top pretty well. As you can see though, the air dam has flexed. So basically what I need to do now is make my splitter, because I have the overall bottom shape lined out. And I'll show you that real quick here in a second. Now, I had a 3D scan of a Miata, so I know what a factory body line is supposed to be. Luckily, that kept it pretty well, so I can maintain that and verify my print. So not only will this be built around the shape of the factory Miata front bumper outline, which is what this is supposed to do and kind of fit. It's basically, sorry, that was loud. It's basically pushing this side out so it maintains the angle that 9 Lives Racing designed into this air dam. So cleaning up the shop a little bit, then I got my template. We're gonna cut that out. The whole goal of this video is to get the air dam and the front splitter at least made. The splitter won't be finished because I'm not gonna have my splitter ramps finished up yet, but I wanna have this all mounted and looking pretty. That way this video can be done. So here's the splitter. It mounts up similar to how it is in the back. Overall, it's about 1 inch wider on each side. And this shape, it looks much bigger than I was anticipating. Maybe because it is, I don't know. Doing our measurements from the top down to the bumper and all that good stuff to make sure it meets the rules. It should, because this scan is literally off of a Miata front bumper. And the dimensions are based off this whole perimeter here. So I went ahead and cut off I used this piece of plywood. This was about 1/4 inch longer than I was expecting. It was 6 1/4 from the edge of this bumper. So I went ahead and cut that down another inch. And that should get us right in the ballpark. It'll be like 5.5 to 5.75 inches off the front bumper, which is right underneath the max of the rules. Now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is go ahead and cut this outline out with a set of scissors and just try to keep the lines as nice as possible. Tips I've had or I've learned through making a couple of these splitters now. I use the 3/8 spade drill bit right here, excuse me, to drill these holes at the corner. It's just big enough for my jigsaw to kind of fit in, and then I can start my holes in any of the corners or on the corners from there. Another thing that is making it much easier this go around is, and this is like in anything in life, aim small, miss small. I used a pen mark this time to get my my circumference cut, and overall it's so much easier and so much better to stay on target. The pin mark is just wider than this, so you have a little bit of gimme, but man, if you use a Sharpie on this, your lines look wavy. And so far, these look pretty dang good. I'm pretty happy with how this is coming out. Again, aim small, miss small. And here we go. I gotta tell you, I've built probably 4 splitters now, and this is the first time I used a pen for my outline. It made a huge difference. I think this overall cut looks way better. I was probably, plus or minus a blade width the entire time. It seems really good. So aim small, miss small. That's my biggest tip. Use a pen for your outline on your splitter. You'll thank yourself later. All right, so the end plate is even with the tire on both sides. It's not perfectly center. I still need to put a center line on this, and then I also need to trim out the concave of the front bumper. That way I can put some of this edging over here. It's garden edging, and I'll basically put that up, and that will help form and pull out these corners and get this bumper back in shape. And just like that. So a couple things, you definitely need this garden edging. I had an outline on my template, and then I took the garden edging, which is just this stuff. It's really flexible, and just followed the perimeter all the way around, and it reshaped this air dam so good. Right now, I just don't have any bolts up here holding the bumper on, but I promise it'll work good. I'm really happy with this thing. Measured again with it on the car, and splitter is like just under 6 inches. It's like 5 7/8. Pretty awesome. Right now, I just measured the angle relative to the pinch welds. Right now, it's about 1 degree down, but when I look at the back mounts, that will get sucked down whenever I put the bolts through. And if it doesn't have enough angle, I can always make those mounts again and drop it down another, you know, like 1/4 inch, just to get the nose of the splitter up a little bit. But honestly, I think that's kind of what you want, is the nose of the splitter just to be a touch down and have it slope up in the back. So overall, super, super happy with how this turned out. I mean, cuts, a couple small little mess ups like that, but looks really, really good. Super pumped with how this turned out. Gosh, and all this room for activities in here. Once I cut out this support bar, it's gonna be so easy. Now, one thing I see a lot of Miata guys do is they'll actually only make their shroud basically as wide as the radiator, which is about here. So I might still be able to use my factory tow hooks. And if that's the case, I might try making some like removable brake ducts or something that fits in here, or just get some pockets of some like flappable like rubber, like what they typically do on the back of some radiator shrouds. They'll put some like hinged rubber, so when you're actually moving, the air pressure can open them, but when the fans are going, it sucks it closed. I might do something similar right here. That way I have access to the tow hooks, but when I'm moving, no airflow is going through that pocket. So, all right, this is the end of the air dam install. Next video, I have no idea what it's actually gonna be. It might be coilovers, it might be shroud or radiator shroud, could be hood latches, could be this degas tank. There's a lot of projects we still have going on. Thank you for tagging along, and thank you for watching. You know, go check out the people that have supported this build. Nine Lives Racing, Home Depot, all that good stuff. You know, can't forget all the guys that have helped with the engine setup. Luckily, we haven't needed anything with the engine this season. Nostrum High Performance, Panda Motor Works, Precision Turbo, Treadstone, all those guys. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Bye.